Welcome to the Weebinati Podcast, the podcast known as the Cubby Podcast, or formerly known as the Cubby Podcast, until we lost all of our squad to SoundCloud. So now we are the dynamic duo, but I am not Clark Kent, and Tigers isn't Bruce Wayne, and we have a special guest, aka Dino Rhymestyle himself.
Hello there.
Yeah, the Rhymestyle.
Okay. Also, can I for a second say Weebinati is such a dope name for a podcast?
See, thank you.
You guys should pat yourself on the back for that. That's like the most original name I've heard in our community.
Pat on the back, Tig.
All right, hold up. All right, I clap my hands. All right, so today we're going to be talking about Dragon Ball FighterZ. We're going to be asking Rhyme a couple of questions and, just get into depth about the game or just talk about some, oh my God, good job, phone. Get into depth about Dragon Ball FighterZ. So, Niggeta, you want to start us off?
Okay. Starting us off, the first question we got is just the switching system, because I was wondering if it played more like Marvel versus Capcom, or if it was like just pretty much its own switching system, because you had hands-on, gameplay with it.
That's actually a really good question, because the one thing that a lot of people are asking now is how does it play? How does it compare to other games? The switching system is very much like Marvel. That's the one side of Marvel that's in that game. So the way I like to compare it, it's it plays very much like Guilty Gear, but it's more fast paced like Marvel, and the actual tag system is very much like Marvel. So it's like a hybrid of all those games in one. Okay. And the misconception that's going on right now is people will look at other games and just compare them to just those. It's just Marvel. It's just Street Fighter. Someone said Tekken before. I don't see that, but it's nothing like Tekken. But it's a mix of all of those, the Marvels and the Guilty Gears in one.
All right.
Okay, I was just something that I was curious about, because the whole adjusting with the switching system and stuff like that, and just the whole adjusting to a competitive fighting game.
It's actually really hard. The first time I picked it up back at E3, it took me a good minute to get used to switching in, because the way it works is I believe it's L1 and L2 if I'm remembering correctly. Muscle memory. When I play and hold the control, I remember better. But what I remember is just you either tap the button to tag in or you hold it to switch, and that's why I can get confusing. So if you're panicking and let's say you're about to die, you accidentally just press the button too fast and call Frieza in as opposed to switch in, you might die and your partner might die too. So it's something that's going to take you a good couple hours first to get used to. Some will pick it up and be able to jump in immediately into it, but the first time you play, it's it feels weird to switch in and out versus tagging in.
Okay.
So it's kind of like a risk and reward kind of system.
Yeah, well, you shouldn't abuse your tag system, period, because let's say if I'm doing a level 3 ultimate, like a Kamehameha, like Solar Kamehameha, for example, with Cell, and you tag in, your character's just going to melt, because when you're tagging, you take way more damage. So keep that in mind. So it's the first time you see it, you think, well, this might kind of get chaotic and spammy. Well, if you come across those players that abuse that button, their characters their entire team is gonna melt before they can even do anything. So just keep that in mind.
Okay.
All right.
How does the say for example you're doing the ultimate and then you switch in to do an ultimate with another character? How does that work?
It's literally just you press the button.
Okay.
So let's say I'm doing simple Piccolo, special beam cannon.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm doing a cannon, all I gotta do is just tap in the tag button, so L1 or L2, and the partners will immediately jump in as long as you have bar for it. Now, keep in mind, it is easy to do that partner move once you start the initial ultimate or level 3 or level 1 super attacks. It does waste key if you don't properly set it up. So you can kind of spam it, but if you don't properly set it up, you're just going to waste your bars and then leave yourself wide open to get it countered.
Okay. Makes sense.
You want to ask the next question, Ty? Because I really don't know how to transition. My transitions are ass in this.
Okay, so we asked some fans, we want to know if you knew the percentage that the game was at right now. So such as, is it 20% complete, if you knew anything about that?
Honestly, I have no clue, because I know the initial E3 bill was 20%, but I don't even know what that means, because 20% can mean many things. It's let's look at album sales. This is kind of an extreme example. Whenever they have album sales in every single Monday night or Tuesday night, right? It'll be 79% of sales, and it'll be let's say 1 million sold, right? That 79% doesn't count for everything. So the last 20% could be 3 million extra albums. So even though they said 20% in an interview back during the E3 days, that doesn't mean anything. It's just to show it's basically just a number that was kind of tossed out to show you how early development the game actually is. Because Again, we don't know what 20% means. We can get more modes. We know there's a story mode coming. It's going to be a brand new original. We don't know how many characters are going to be, and like, you know, how many more will get revealed over the course of the next couple like weeks/months. But like, it's just still in the early build. I mean, I would say between the E3 build and the Gamescom build, maybe it's another extra 10%, so 30%. But again, that's just me pulling a number out of my ass.
Okay.
Well, and because like, so I'm assuming like Bandai didn't tell you like anything about the game, like regarding the percentage done.
Yeah, no, they don't tell me anything. Everything, it's funny because it's like a big misconception. Yes, we do get some stuff told every now and then, but usually what we get told is what's about to get announced. They never tell us stuff like ahead of time. Like, by the way, it's like, oh, just so you know, trailer's dropping in an hour. It's like, well, cool, that's in an hour. Okay. So like, the big misconception is YouTubers get told everything. The earliest I've like the biggest heads up I've ever had was about like 24 hours, and that was for a trailer, but that's about it.
Okay.
Yeah, like they tell us next to nothing. So I don't know anything about the game outside of what was already shown.
All right.
That was just to kind of get into our next transition, because we just want to let people and remind people, you know, who get triggered at Rhymestyle. Rhyme does not work at Bandai.
Yeah,
he doesn't have 100% things behind Bandai, you know.
I'm not sponsored. I'm not paid by them, and I know people always assume just because, like, you know, they bring me out to streams and stuff that they pay me. I have never seen a dime from them. The most I've ever got from Bandai, and this is no disrespect to them, is they flew me out and my friends back when we did the Xenoverse 2 live stream back in like October. But that's about it. Okay, we didn't get paid for that. It's just the way they usually do it is like, hey, they'll bring us out to events. You know, they'll pay for the flight, and then we get to capture gameplay. That's kind of like the trade system that's there. I don't know if that really counts, but. Yeah, like I don't know stuff. I don't get any special treatment outside of like, you know, getting some games early and sometimes being able to capture footage before they, you know, release these builds at like events and stuff. But it's kind of like a trade-off, I guess. So I don't know. Take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah, take it how you want to take it.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so we wanted to ask you, how do you think the rank system will work, such as like, you know, online rank play?
Because it looks a lot like Guilty Gear.
Yeah, it's going to be literally like Guilty Gear. Intense. Okay. Basically, if you don't know how to use your thumbs, don't go on ranked. I mean, it's cool to learn. Like, I was on a podcast a couple weeks ago with my homie Hell Pockets from Game Goons. Okay. And I remember they asked a question that was like, what's the best way for casuals to get into the game? And I was like, just have them beat the dog piss out of you. So it's like kind of the same thing. It's like just hop into rank and lose a lot, get frustrated at the game, put it down, get mad at it, and then come back a week later and rinse and repeat. But like the rank system is like the people who go on ranked are going to be the top tier dogs. And like this is not like a game like Xenoverse where, you know, you'll run into players that just like Xenoverse is all over the place. You either have the players who have like super crazy builds, or they got those death combos where if they get you in that one combo, it's GG. It's going to be top tier players on ranked. Well, I assume, at least I think about it. But at the same time, that's kind of like the realistic environment. So you probably do want to go on that and just keep losing until you get better. Because like the more you lose in this game and the more you play, the more you see how other players actually, you know, do stuff. And then you know how to counter. You know exactly when to jump in. Like you get the timings right. And then from there, it's all about mastering the combos, picking the right characters, picking the right team, and going from there.
Yeah, so it's just basically like a regular competitive game. Like you gotta catch the hands to learn how to give the hands.
Exactly. Like what are some of the fighting games that you guys have played?
Injustice 2, you know, I played Tekken, but I've never owned a Tekken. Like I usually play Tekken when I go to like you know, a friend's house or something like that. You know,
right.
I played.
So you already kind of got the idea, like what happens when you go on rank. So it's gonna be something along those lines.
Yeah, I'm a huge Street Fighter fan, so I've played 3 through 5. You know, 5 just pisses me off. I play Injustice. Yeah. All the Mortal Kombat, but Mortal Kombat. I'm familiar with the rank, but I'm not like on the level where it's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go to compete competitively.
Yeah, Street Fighter was like my game until 5 came out, and I don't know what it was. There's something about it that just like pushed me away from it, and I like some people say they made it too casual friendly. Some people just say that it just wasn't right, but like I don't know what it's like for me. I could just never figure out, because like when I played 5, I enjoyed it, I had fun, but like when you play 4. Whether it be Super Street Fighter or Ultra Street Fighter or even like the original 4, there was like this thrill about winning online, or just like, you know, finding that character that represents you and winning, losing, or just playing, that felt so right. And that was never really quite transferred for me, at least on Street Fighter 5. That's why I had to put that game down.
Yeah, I think that's why a lot of people put it down. I think the only reason why I play it is, because they don't know. I think I'm just probably preparing for fighters, and then I'm probably gonna drop it.
See, that's what makes fighters so great, because that exact feeling I just described is the first feeling you'll get in fighters. And like, if you've never played, and this is to anybody listening, if you've never played a fighting game, like an actual fighting game, like your Street Fighters, your Tekkens, your Soul Calibers, your Guilty Gears, your Blaze Blues, yada yada yada, you probably don't know what that feeling is. But to those who play fighting games, there's like this weird adrenaline kick you get from certain games. That is so present in fighters. On top of it being a Dragon Ball game, which looks like super flashy and just nice as is, like you combine that into one, it's just such a good ass game. And you'll find out, like, to those who are participating in the beta next week, like you'll see what I'm talking about. You might not get it the first day, but again, once you kind of pick it up and figure out the basic controls and figure out like some kind of team that sort of works, you'll start recognizing that exact feeling.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Because that's what it looked like when Maximilian, his Evo moment, it really did look like that was like really hyping, like off of like everybody.
Yeah, it was amazing. And you only get that with like fighting games, because like, I mean, yeah, you can get comebacks in games like Xenoverse. Like, say I have like literally one HP left, you could technically get a comeback, but it's like really, really rare. Whereas if you have literally like 1 HP left in a game like Fighters, you can still hella come back, because number one, if you haven't used your burst yet, that's gonna like kick off a recovery phase. It's just like the X Factor for Marvel vs. Capcom. It'll start a recovery phase. You do more damage. Like the fight is a fight from start to finish. The fight in like the more casual friendly games like Xenoverse, for example, is like once you start winning and you control the field, it's pretty much over. And you know who's going to win. Yeah. So that's kind of like what sets apart Xenoverse and Fighters. And I just want to point out, I'm not trying to like, shit on Xenoverse or anything. I still love the game. I mean, to those who watch my videos, like you see, I play Xenoverse like almost like every day. I dropped it for a couple weeks in the past like 2 months, but I picked it back up recently because now I don't know if they fixed something in the servers or what, but it's been working a lot better for me again. So I picked the game up again. But as far as like Fighters versus Xenoverse, they're two different games, and like we really need to stop making the comparisons between them, because they're not. Yeah. Just because it's Dragon Ball doesn't mean it's the same game.
Yeah, I understand, because they're like two different league of games.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Go ahead.
You wanted to do the transition, or you want? Well, speaking of the difference from casual and competitive gaming, because we know we use at Evo. We just wanted to ask, how was the commentary at Evo? Just the whole feeling.
Yo, so that was a learning experience for both me and Afro, because like we've done commentaries before for like Storm and Xenoverse, which is just basically your standard your shit talk, dad jokes, yada yada yada. Kind of having a good time watching the fights and reacting. At Evo, it's a different game because they want you to like break down the strategies. They want you to use the right terminologies, and me and Afro had no idea what we were doing when we were there. So it was definitely a learning experience. Like the first day, I remember we walked away, we thought like we killed it. We were like, yeah, this is dope. We should do this again. We walked in and we just started reading the comments. We started rewatching like the VODs. It's like, oh yeah, we don't know what we're doing. People were mad. I mean, some people were enjoying it because like the ones that came from like our videos, they knew what to expect versus the ones who just watch your typical Evo. And it's like, that's not what they came here for. They came here for like the analytical standpoints, talking about different terms. And it's like, well, we know the terms, not necessarily all of them, but we know most of the terminology and stuff. We just weren't really discussing it from that aspect. Because like, again, we treated it more like a YouTube video. Yeah. And we should have been treated more like a, like ESPN essentially. Like, you're just kind of breaking stuff down. So we went back the second day, and if you go back and watch the VODs, you'll notice there's a big difference in how we were commentating the second day. But like, it's definitely a learning experience. And if me and Afro can learn and kind of get better at it, we definitely, hopefully might do it again in the future. But like, we still got a long way to go. We're small fries when it comes down to that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and me and Ty, we were talking over, and we were just talking about how we would rather have like you and Afro commentate with probably like 2 other commentators who know the terminology and stuff like that, just because you guys know the whole what's it called?
You guys know what Dragon Ball is. Like, you don't want someone calling a Kamehameha a fireball.
It's funny because that was the initial plan. I was supposed to commentate with a dude. Shout out to Jeremy. I was supposed to commentate with him on the first day, and then Afro was supposed to take over for the second half, and then again the next day we're supposed to split. Like, you got the commentator side, and then you got like kind of like the Dragon Ball knowledge side. But the problem was there was a scheduling issue that somebody messed up on, and what ended up happening is it's just me and Afro were there, so we just kind of picked it up and just jumped in. So that's kind of what happened. So
I mean, I don't kind of blame you for that because, you know, that's your boy. Like, I feel like if I was commentating with Ty, the same thing would go down, but it'd be a lot more explicit and it really wouldn't be professional at all. But I can't really, like, blame you for any of that.
Like I said, we just want to learn and get better at it, so that's kind of going to be one of our goals when the game comes out.
Yeah.
I understand. Okay, so the real question is, are you playing again to the competitive side of fighters?
What do you mean? Like, am I going to be more competitive?
So basically, such as, are you planning to go any like tournaments or anything like that?
Oof, probably not. I mean, the thing about me is, as much as I love fighting games, you know, like I said, I grew up under Street Fighter. I played, when I was in college, it was all about Street Fighter for me. Street Fighter 4, Super Street Fighter 4, Ultra Street Fighter 4. Like, that's all I like legit played. But even though I was super into that game, I never wanted to go that far. Because, like, with me, it's like, I just like to play these games for fun. I don't want to get to the point where I take it too serious. Because, like, once you start taking a game too serious and, like, on a different, more extreme level, that's when you stop enjoying it. And, like, I mean, I know I basically play video games for a living, but, like, if I'm not having fun, I'm not going to do it. Like that's the most important aspect of it. It's like, I have to enjoy it. I have to have more fun with it. So I don't think I'm going to go too competitive with it. If opportunity arises, I still don't think I want to go for it. Okay. Besides, I don't think I have a chance because, like, I've seen some of these players, man, and you know, I got a little bit of a head start because I've been playing the game. You know, I had several chances to play the game, and I kind of, you know, picked up the couple metas of it. But once the game comes out and people like really pick up and get used to it, it's I'm probably gonna fall down that ladder. Don't get me wrong, I'm still gonna be giving a hands to anybody out there, but, like, you know,
that is a message from Dino himself. Put a target on his back. Everybody follow this.
Man, I already have a target. It's funny because, like, I mean, it's just standard shit talk. Like, when it comes to fighting games, you always get your shit talk. You can't have a fighting game without, like, shitting on your friends. Like, it's part of it. And, you know, this game is just one of those. Again, I mean, I get these tweets daily. It's like, all right, bet I'll remember this tweet. Just back it up. If you're gonna shit talk in the game, back it up.
Gotta back it up.
Yeah.
You have to back it up.
Yeah, remember that, Niggeta.
Everybody know. Oh, really, Ty? So this is what we're doing now. Okay. But either way, that lets everybody know you don't have to get into competitive scene if you don't.
Yeah, because I know there was a lot of people asking me and complaining about is it gonna be or are casual players gonna be able to, you know, play the game and, you know, all that other stuff.
Absolutely. The thing about the game, it's funny because I was just talking to Thundershot the other day because he was at PAX and he got to play for the first time, and he's played Guilty Gear, and he said to him, and take us to a grain of salt because this is just his experience. You know, everybody's gonna have a different experience. To him, he said it felt easier to pick up than Guilty Gear, but it still's got that Guilty Gear learning curve. So it's like, it's more easier to pick up and kind of get used to, but you still have to spend the time to master it. The thing about this game is I feel like you're going to get a handful of people, not everybody, just a handful, that are probably going to jump in and try a couple things. They're going to lose. They're going to put the game down. Fine. That game isn't meant for those people. Whereas you get the other ones, number one, you got the hardcores who play hella fighting games. They're going to jump into it immediately because this is like the next big fighting game, which is like a huge deal since it's Dragon Ball. But then you're going to get those casuals who never really played, who are going to pick it up and just become amazing at it. Like, it's going to be an interesting balance to see, like, what happens when the beta comes out, number one, and two, when the game actually comes out. But, like, it's just, you'll have a good time. Whether you love it or hate it, you'll have a good time some way or another.
Okay.
And me and Ty were kind of talking about the same thing because we were like, I'm just expecting, like, a bunch of people to pick it up and then drop it immediately. And that's just because, you know, the whole switching from 3D to 2.3D or whatever. And just switching the whole from a casual fighter to a competitive scene. And we were just, like, wondering if it was going to be, like, more other modes for casuals to enjoy, such as, like, tournament modes or whatever, or did they hint at any of those?
The only thing I know of, I mean, I assume it's going to be just like another Arc Sys game. So whatever they have on Guilty Gear, they'll have in this. I mean, obviously, you got the story mode, which is going to be completely original, completely, like, super flashy and hella animated, which is, I think it'll be more aimed at the casual audience. And then the remainder of the game is going to be all about going for, like, the hardcore to play fighting games. So it's like the best of both worlds. And I feel what's going to happen is a lot of people are going to pick the game up. They're going to play through the actual story. And then because they enjoy the story, they might jump into, like, the more hardcore fighting game side of it. So I don't know what they're going to plan as far as casuals, but I do know that they do not plan on having a 1v1. and they kind of considered it and thought about it. They surveyed people back when it was first announced at E3, but ultimately, I think they decided that because of how the system is set up, this is not going to be a 1v1, which could throw some people off and I guess push them away from it. But the whole 3v3 aspect of it, where you get to choose 3 characters and tag in and out, is the main mechanic they're going to go with when it comes out. But again, that may very well change. Again, 20% apparently, according to E3, maybe 25, 30, 40% now. I don't really know. I'm just tossing out numbers, but like it's still in the hella early stages.
Okay. So far from the soundtrack, have you or not have you, but how are you liking the music in the game so far?
See, that's a tough question because like music is very important for Dragon Ball games. Yeah. And the reason why I say it's tough is because the times I got to play it is usually in loud environments. Even like the last time we were at Bandai recording, it was like one room with like 9 of us. So it was still too loud to hear. I mean, from what I heard, it looks dope. I like the sound of it. But again, that's just based off of like literally like 2 different songs. So I can't really speak on it.
Okay.
Other than, I mean, I guess I could say the 2 songs that I heard I liked.
Okay.
I mean, in the Guilty Gear music in the past has been amazing. So I have faith that it's gonna be on point when it comes out.
Okay. Also, you think there's gonna be a tutorial mode?
Actually, I'm glad you asked that. So the thing that makes Guilty Gear so amazing is they break down everything with the characters. Like everything with the characters. Now, I don't know if this is going to be done on fighters as well, but like for example, let's say you want to pick up Faust in Guilty Gear. You go to the combo mode or combo tutorial mode. It literally lists how to do every single combo as well as how to set up combos. I mean, it lists how to do every single move and also sets up combos as well. So you can literally go through every single character and kind of practice and learn, and then you can take those moves you just learned going online. And I assume because they've done that in previous ArcSys games that they might bring that back in this one. But again, I don't know how well it's going to work because this is a 3v3 system, which is something new for ArcSys. So it's kind of up in the air, but just know that in Guilty Gear specifically, they had that where literally you can learn every single combo that characters have. And then from there, test them out, get the muscle memory behind it, and then hop online and test them out yourself.
Okay.
Yeah, because that was a question that I had personally because I played Guilty Gear in their tutorial system. I was wondering if they were going to like break down every character like they do. Yeah,
I mean, it's assumed. It's just assumed for now. But like again, if anything changes, we'll find out later.
Plus, that makes it a lot more casual friendly if they do that too. So.
Yeah, 100%. And I remember when I first got into Guilty Gear, that's one of the reasons why I was able to pick it up so well. Because I mean, if you played fighting games before, your standard quarter circle forwards, quarter circle backs, half circles, yada yada yada. You know how to do that. You can go in the combo menu and see how to do moves. But then like when you actually practice them with the actual inputs on the screen and like get the timing right, it's like you learn it a lot better as you would just yourself. So that's one thing that ArcSys does really, really well as far as, trying to like reel in the casuals.
Okay. Okay. So saying let's say if there was fusions in the game, how do you think that would work out?
So I can actually see fusions in the game, but at the same time I can't. The reason why is because that changes the actual fight system completely. Because again, the system is meant to be a 3v3 system. So let's say theoretically Epic, Goten, and Trunks, if those characters were in the game, if I was to fuse with them, then that only leads into a 2v3 system. And that actually puts you at a great disadvantage. So I can't really see that happening. However, we most likely will get fusion characters because they're like the most popular in the series. But they'll probably just fuse in the intro, which is fine. Because again, it'll look nice. The characters will be fun to use. But I feel like we're not going to see a fusion-esque move just because that'll put you at a great disadvantage. Because trust me, like if you lose a partner in this game, it hurts, and you'll see that from experience. Like once you lose that partner, it puts you at a severe disadvantage. So that's why you gotta like be careful when you tag in and out, when you switch in and out. Like if your character starts dying, tag out. Let that dude heal or girl. Let them heal while the other character fights. But like it's all about conserving as much health as possible with every single character. So like if fusion did exist in a game, it requires some crazy boosting without breaking it too much. Because I don't know how much of a Guilty Gear you play, but Soul Bad Guy, his Dragon install can completely change the entire field around. I mean, granted, it only lasts like 10 seconds or so. It's still like when you transform into the Dragon install, it like you control the field completely. But at the same time, like if they were to do something like that, where they add a fusion, where you fuse, you get a huge boost, it could be kind of overpowered. So it's like the major issue will be balancing from the power point that you get as far as being a fused character, and also like what kind of disadvantage you get with only being 2 characters. So that's something that I feel like is not right for fighters yet. Maybe for the next game, but for right now, I feel like they might not be ready for it yet.
Yeah, because I was talking to Niggeta about it, and I had like an idea about, because you know how 18 and 17 are one character, and right. I was thinking about how if Goten and Trunks were like the same character. So I was thinking about that, and we came to the conclusion that like they most likely won't do it because, like you said, that you need both characters and like you need both for their health. Because I was coming up with like a theory, maybe they can do a combo of their health and then just give them a little bit bonus health. So then whatever you come out with, it would subtract their health or divide their health, like back to what it was. But then however much damage you took in that certain amount of time, then you would take damage off on both of them, and it would be kind of like a risky thing to do.
I mean, what could happen is Frieza can go gold. I still don't really know what that does yet. I just assume it's just a power boost, maybe like a defense boost as well. But what they could do is, if they did introduce Goten and Trunks as like 2 characters, they could have a similar transformation or fusion with them like Frieza does. But again, the question is what do you get while you're in that fused state? Like, it would require them to completely come up with a whole new move set. And on top of that, if Gotenks is locked behind basically a fusion, what does that mean for a standalone character? Because then you wouldn't have a standalone character, because the thing that ArcSys focuses on a lot is having super unique characters. So if they were to lock fusion behind Goten and Trunks, then you wouldn't get Gotenks. And like, I'd much rather see Gotenks, if there's any kind of transformation aspect with it, I want to see him go Super Saiyan 3.
Yeah.
But again, that's something that will differ from person to person, and obviously everyone has a different opinion. But that's the beauty of the internet, opinions. You can say what you guys want.
And the whole thing with fusion could work in the intro too, because it could just fuse into like in the intro. Because a lot of these intros, the way how they're animated, like they look really good. So I could see people like kind of being mad about the fusion thing, but then it's like, well, you get to watch a dope ass intro at the beginning of the video. So I mean the game.
The thing that people just have to realize that this is not a Budokai. This is not like a burst limit. Because like what we have with burst limit and the Budokai, this is far from what FighterZ is. Like, even burst limit and Budokai, even though they might have had more debt than previous games, this has like way more. This is an actual fighting game. Budokai and the burst limits were still considered somewhat from the casual side as far as fighting games. So like that's something that people have to get used to. Is this isn't just your standard game where it's all about spiking up your hair and transforming and fusing and yada yada yada. This is like a straight up fighting game where you don't have a second to get a breath to look at yourself when you transform. I mean, I guess you do when you go Golden Frieza, because it pauses for a second and zooms in on you when you do it. But like, this is all about fighting and all about action, as opposed to just like the visuals of just staring at yourself. Because like, I remember like one of the biggest complaints with Xenoverse was always like, why doesn't our hair spike up? Well, it's like, well, who transforms and just says, hey, hold on, let me look at myself real fast. Ooh, look at me! Like, okay, now it's fight. Like, no one does that. I mean, you might get people here and there that do that, but like, no one does that in an online environment. Like, if you're transforming, I'm gonna just break your stamina and beat your ass. Like, that's how it works.
Yeah.
So that's something people have to realize is when it comes down to fighters, this is like a straight up fighting game. This isn't like the past games you've seen in the Dragon Ball side.
Okay. You can ask the next question.
Okay. Well, this is a question that I've had for the longest, because it was just something that I thought I would never witness you do Rhymestyle. But why did you body Afro like that the first time you played FighterZ? I feel like that was so uncalled for. Like,
so me and Afro, that's a homie. We've had like we had rivalries in these games for like the longest. I think it started initially when we started going to Bandai to like play like the early builds of Xenoverse. Like, every time we would go, one time Afro would just body me completely. The next trip I would body him. We'd just go back and forth. But like, thing about fighters is I had just way more experience playing, like the 2D style fighters. Like I said, I grew up under Street Fighter. I played a lot of Guilty Gear. I didn't just pick up Guilty Gear because of fighters. Like, I've been playing the game. And like, I see, like, I've seen a couple people criticize me in the past, like, oh, you're only playing this because of fighters. Like, no, I've been playing fighting games all my life, like actual fighting games. That's one of the reasons why I got into Dragon Ball fighting games, because like I'd already been playing those games. So it's like, I like Dragon Ball, I like fighting games. I mean, I guess go on this side of the fighting game community, even though it's not really FGC. But you get what I'm saying. Like, I've been playing fighting games my life, so we've always had this rivalry. And like, so when Fighters came out, you got the shit talk. And it's like, I remember, the shit talk initially was like so strong. I was like, all right, bet. Like, no, let me just go ahead and just do my thing. And we just kind of kept going at it. But the cool thing is we got like a little special project plan around that I'm not gonna talk about yet. So once the game comes out, like you'll see why that rivalry started the way it did in the past like 2 months. And it's gonna be something that's gonna kind of involve everybody in the end. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah, because I know I've seen a lot of stuff about you guys talking about Team Rhyme and Team Afro on Twitter and stuff like that. I thought that was funny.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun and interesting. Like, you'll see, it's something that's gonna be for the whole community in the end. And it's not meant to be anything serious. It's just like I said, I like to have fun first. Same thing with Afro. We're not here to be number one in anything that we do. It's just like we just want to have fun and enjoy and have a good time, and we want everybody else to share that with us as well. So like, as far as the details on that's coming later. But it's gonna be a little interesting, fun project that's gonna involve everybody. So just keep an eye out for that.
All right. So how big do you think the roster is gonna be?
The infamous question. It's a Dragon Ball game. I need 100 characters. I mean, what do you mean? Now, honestly, I don't know. That's like the question that everybody is been debating. I've seen articles going around saying, oh, it's going to be 16 characters tops. I've seen other articles talking about 20, 40,
16?
50. It's not.
It's a little bit.
It's not going to be that low. Like, I mean, I don't know the roster. Like, don't get me wrong. It's not me over here just, hinting at anything. I don't know the full roster size. But I do know it's not going to be 16. It's not going to be like 20. It'll be more than that. It'll be a what's the word? A satisfying amount. And the thing that you have to realize is every character plays completely different. This is nothing copy paste. I mean, even though Xenoverse had a lot of unique characters, everybody played someone differently. It's still like you can pick up, someone like Goku, get good with Goku, and then you can play good with Gogeta. You can play good with Gohan. Like, once you kind of got the basics down, you could play good with anybody. So it was unique, but every character kind of felt still the same. Whereas in a game like FighterZ and Arc Sys games, every character is completely uniquely different. And you saw that in the past, release when they showed up Android 18. She plays at 17. You got Piccolo, who has, he's got range, he's got super techie moves. He can bust out, the slow key blast that you can then combine with the arm stretch, pull your opponents into it, set up hell zone grenades, especially if you can. Then you got someone like Krillin, who's all about using this man can use after image. Do you know what's so special about that? After image in this game is not like what it was in the past games. After image in the past games has been all about kind of like more of a dodge mechanic. You set it up, and then if you get hit, you kind of like pop up behind your opponent. In this game, you could actually use after image with Krillin the correct way. So, like, for example, let's say I'm fighting you. If I could do the command for it, and it'll actually send like a clone at you thinking that's the right one, but actually it's the fake one. Or if I hold the button down, I can send the real one after you and leave the fake one behind me. So, like, it's got an actual after image set that's only unique to Krillin. On top of that, Krillin can do stuff like jump Kamehamehas, which other people can't do. So, like, every character feels so unique to themselves, and that's what makes it so special. So, I'd rather... And this is just me speaking for myself, but I'd rather get, 20, 30, 40 unique characters like that than getting 100 copy and paste characters. Because, like, let's be real. Who here plays with Guldo and Raccoon in Xenoverse 1? Who uses Kid Gohan and Krillin? You're going to get those small numbers of people that be like, yeah, I play those characters, but let's be real now. We want to play with our Gohans. We want to play with our Gokus. We want to play with our hits. Like, we want to play with our Roses. And I feel like they're going to focus mostly around like the more main characters. So the beauty of having a small roster is we'll get the good characters and better than ever before. And that's what's important about this game as far as the small roster size.
Yeah.
And also keep in mind, this is the first game. Like, I mean, which Dragon Ball game do you know that had a massive roster from the start? None. Every game always had like a build-up from the previous games. I remember how many characters were on Budokai 1. I want to say like 30 or so, but like every game that was released afterwards had more characters. So like if and when FighterZ 2 happens, we'll get even more characters and even more characters and even more. Like it's got to build up. So like just give it a chance.
Yeah, because I was thinking about probably about like 30, 40 characters at start.
Yeah.
And then I was thinking that they could do about, I would say about 5 or like 10 characters of DLC.
Uh-huh.
Just saying.
I think 10 might be too much just because Arc Sys has never done it before. But then again, they've never worked with Dragon Ball before. So it's up in the air.
Well, it all really depends on how many like DLC packs they do.
Yeah. And the thing is, DLC is such a sensitive thing these days. It's like, dude, it's 2017. There's always going to be DLC.
Yeah.
Number one, you don't have to buy it. Two, the characters being made are made after the game. So it's like, people always get mad. It's like, oh yeah, DLC, I can't believe they're doing this, scumbags. It's like, well, yeah, they released the game first, and then they gave us more bonus content that they worked on after the game. It's not like a situation of like, Call of Duty or something, or Street Fighter where it's on disc. Like, this is not locked on disc. I mean, every now and then, like I remember with Xenoverse, sometimes people thought that certain characters were hidden behind, the actual disc, but they weren't. It was just like more like blueprints and like small pieces here and there, like clothing parts, but not like the full characters. Like everything that was made in Xenoverse was made after the game came out. That's why it took literally 2 months between each single DLC pack. So like the beauty of DLC, number one, it's optional, and two, it extends the game. So stop complaining about it. That's all I gotta say.
Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, people are gonna complain anyway. So
yeah, I mean, people will find everything to complain about, which is fine. Again, the beauty of the internet is speak your mind. Like I want everybody out here to speak your mind. Like don't let anybody censor you. Unless you be an asshole, in which case, fuck out of here. It's like the big thing that people talked about with FighterZ is like, oh, it's my opinion that FighterZ is trash. It's like, okay, I mean, I guess it's cool, but then you get the people who are like, fuck you, yeah. It's like, dude, that's not an opinion. You're just being an asshole right now. So it's like you gotta figure out what's the fine line of being an asshole and have an actual opinion. If you want to say FighterZ is not for me, that's fine, great. But if you straight up come out and say FighterZ is trash, it's gonna die first day, it's like, dude, you're just hating at this point. Like, I get it, you don't like the game, but the way you're portraying your opinion is more on the negative / hater side. So like, just think about how you express it when it comes down to it, and I think everybody can agree in some way.
Yeah.
And just still speaking on the roster, because we all want characters within the game. I'm pretty sure, free my nigga Garlic Jr. I want Garlic Jr. in FighterZ, but Rhymestyle, we just want to ask, what is some characters you would like to see within the game?
See, I need Hit. I need Rose. Like, I feel like those two are probably amongst the more in-demand characters.
Yeah.
Like, Rose is super flashy. You can give him a variety of moves of, give him maybe the Scythe, or you can bust out the Divine Lasso that you had in Xenoverse. Hit is all about brawling. See, the thing that makes me want Hit is he is purely melee based. And granted, he had a Ki Blast in Xenoverse. I feel like they wouldn't give him Ki Blast in this game just because, again, he's all about finding, his own way. And since this is Arc System working on it, I feel like if they do Hit, that's all we'll get. It's just straight up, close combat brawler, which will put him at a disadvantage as a range character because there's nothing you can do as far as Kamehameha and stuff. But like incorporating the time skip will be like we'll kind of make up for it. So Hit is perfect. Rose, again, he's just flashy. He's cool. I mean, who here hates Rose? If you do, I don't believe you. You're just hating at this point. That's a joke, by the way. That's a joke. If you don't like Rose, it's fine. It's your opinion.
Nah, Rose is God tier. Beautiful.
Like we don't need to hear your love letters to Super Saiyan Rose.
Hey, man. Hey. But about Hit, how do you think he would play out in this game?
As far as like his fight style?
Yeah.
I would say just purely close combat.
What about time skip? How do you think that would work? You think they would put that in his combos, or would it just be like special and ultimates?
I would say more on the ultimate side. Okay. I can't really say how it would work yet, just because I don't know what to expect with Arc System at this point.
Yeah. I mean,
like I said, the hit that we got in Xenoverse was cool, but it wasn't exactly Hit that we saw in the series.
Yeah.
So I feel like you can give him a couple counters, maybe using the time skip. The beauty of this game also is you have cutscenes with the attacks. So if you do like a level 3 ultimate, it's gonna look hella flashy, and it's gonna be really fun to look at. Yep. So there's a lot of ways to go about it. So it's just kind of like Arc System, what you got?
I mean, I would like to see them do something like something that they did with a character like they did in not Arc System, but a game that I played called Skullgirls. And the character pretty much has the same ability as Hit, where he can freeze time, and they let him do like an ultimate after. Or there was even like a JoJo's game, I think there was, where like Dio was in it, and like he could freeze time and like throw knives, and it would like take up his bar. But I think that'd be really interesting to see how they did it.
I'm sure they can probably borrow from those elements as well, because like I said, the Arc System knows their games. Like that's the dope part. Like Dims, even though Dims helped on Street Fighter, they still don't quite get it. And like I mean, again, I don't want to compare Xenoverse to this, but like I'm just looking at past games, and a lot of past games, there's a lot of elements that they missed when it came down to certain characters. But I feel like with Arc System, it's a new company to a lot of people, unless you've been balls deep in fighting games like Guilty Gear. But they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing, and that's something to like keep an eye out for as we get closer and closer to the release of this game.
All right, so what do you think the best looking level 5 all is right now?
You mean like level 3? Because there's only one level 5 so far, and that's Gohan. So Gohan, what he can do, if he has 3 key bars, he can bust out the Father and Son Kamehameha, but you can keep the input going if you have more key and just do more damage. As of right now, I believe he's the only one that has that, and I don't know if more will have it. It's honestly kind of a waste of key, depending on how you do it, because like there is damage scaling in this game, and in case people don't know what that is, as you combo into certain moves, you do less damage, and I do that just so you can't just like straight up death combo a character, which is something that was missing in Xenoverse. That's why you can break someone's stamina and just kill him one shot, essentially.
Man, RIP to my Majins, because
exactly. Your stamina breaks, you're dead.
Like that's something that's brutal.
In this game, especially in the last build, something that Max pointed out was the combos do a lot less damage. So like if you start a combo, you go into like your 50, 30, 40 hit combos and then finish it off with like a level 3 ultimate, it will do a lot less damage than just maybe getting like a Hail Mary ultimate out. I mean, again, this is an actual fighting game, which is something that people will have to get used to. You're not going to jump into the matches as firing level 1 Kamehamehas left and right. It's not as it works. I mean, you can do it, and you might get lucky here and there, but for the most part, like it'll take some practice, linking everything together. As far as level 5s, I would love to see more level 5s, but at the same time, it should also be more unique to certain characters. So like for Gohan, it makes sense because Gohan had the Father Son Kamehameha against Cell, and getting an extra burst of ki and firing to do more damage is beautiful. So I mean, it's cool seeing that. As far as the best looking ones, man, this is tough. I want to say I want to go with Android 16 because he's got an instant kill. Yeah. For now, I think he has the best looking level. No. Androids. Got to go with the androids.
See, I remember when you guys were streaming. You guys were at Bandai, and I don't know if it was you and Max playing, and I can't remember the other guy that was playing with you guys on the stream, but yeah, and someone did the perfect Cell Kamehameha, and somebody used Android 16's ult and like caught him with that, and it was so clean. Like that thing was just amazing.
I'm pretty sure that was a bug because right now Android 16 has complete invincibility frames when he does that move.
Yeah,
and it shouldn't work like that. It should have some invincibility frames because the attack is hella slow. Like he stands there for a second, he poses it, and then he jumps. And obviously, if they make it where if you get punched once, it'll make the move useless. So it should have some invincibility frames, but like if you do like straight up a level 1 Kamehameha or even like a level 3, it should stop it. Now, in what you saw in that stream, that I believe that was between Wooly and Max. Cell did his solar Kamehameha, he fired it, and Android 16 completely ate it, and he was just in range to get the grab for the explosion. So I don't know if that's going to change. I assume it's going to. I feel like it wasn't supposed to work the way it was supposed to. But that was beautiful. Like seeing that kind of stuff, like that's the side I'm talking about. Like that
was like
super dope. Yeah,
the adrenaline.
Or maybe that was me. Was that me?
I think that was you because I remember you like having the controller.
Yeah, it was me. I was fighting Wooly. That's what it was.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
like,
I had Cell.
My reaction to that was perfect. Like
I wasn't even mad. That was beautiful.
Yeah, that was art. That was fighting game art.
Yeah, exactly.
If I come across somebody who is just really deep into the FGC community and we're playing fighters and you're better than me, just kill me with the ult. Like I'll just let you do it. I just think it's something pretty. Like you can give me the hands, but just kill me with the ult.
See, that's the great thing about fighters is like when you lose, you lost. In Xenoverse, you're gonna come across fight again. I hate comparing to this, but again, this is the only thing we gotta compare to right now. In Xenoverse, there's time where you will lose because the other player is better, but then certain situations it's because it was hella laggy, or maybe they're using a cheap infinite death combo where there's nothing you can do about it, or they're using Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Goku, or Hit. Like you will not see that in fighters. At least I hope. But like this game is a lot more balanced, and like when you lose, you lost because you deserved it.
Yeah. Deserve that L, man. You deserve that L. All right.
I mean, you can't really be mad about that either.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't.
Like, okay, he was better than me at the end of the day.
Yeah. Learn, get better, and get that W later. Like that's what you got to do.
Man, as long as it's not no Niggeta Deadshot, I'm good.
Look, listen, my Deadshot doesn't have nothing to do with this.
Nah, that wasn't nice, man. It hurt my feelings, bro. That hurt my feelings. All right, so do you think any other characters would have a one shot ultimate or no?
Honestly, I'd say no. And the only reason why is because they're probably going to be more focused around giving a handful of characters something that's only unique to them. Like, as of right now, the only person they can transform, granted, it's only 12 characters that have been revealed, 12 or 11, or 13 actually. The only character that can transform is Frieza, and he gets to golden form. And they even said it in their interview, like they want to do certain mechanics that are only useful for or only unique to those characters. So in this situation, I feel like we're not going to get any more transformations like Frieza. But again, that's a speculation. I don't really know. As far as 16, I think it just comes down to like the certain characters. So for example, I can see if they have Majin Vegeta in the game, I can see him having final explosion as well. Because I mean, you can't have Vegeta and not give him that. So it honestly just comes down to like certain moments in the show. Because if you notice, like I said, Gohan has a level 5 super, or he does the Father Son Kamehameha, because that's what happened in the show. Android 16 has, his explosion because again, that's what almost happened in the show, but it came from the show. So I guess like the best way to look at it is just seeing what they've done in the show and maybe perhaps anticipate from there. Because like I can see even Beerus having a Hakai, depending on like if the situations are right to pull it off. So like it's just all about observing what happened in the past, whether it be in the manga or the anime, and then from there kind of assume okay, it fits with his character. Obviously, you're not gonna have someone like Krillin or Kid Gohan or Gohan or the current characters in the game having these instant kills because they've never really had them in the show. Although it's debatable because, I mean, I guess you could say Goku had a spirit bomb when he threw it against Kid Buu. So, I don't know. I mean, certain characters, yes. Other characters, no, not really. So, it's just up in the air.
Yo, when he said Hakai, I just like imagine like
I imagine it too.
An Evo moment, somebody's getting bodied and they're like,
oh.
Exactly. That's why I hope they can figure out a way to incorporate it. I feel like they have to, not necessarily be a one-hit kill, but like, well, then again, I feel like it should be a one-hit kill because it's freaking Beerus, and that's
I can't even say the word. Erasing you from existence, like it has to be a one shot.
I don't know. I mean, it's just for them to figure out like what's the right way to do it. It's just not going to be easy to do.
Yeah,
maybe they can give them the same setup that they have with Android 16, where you can only do it once. Because like 16, you can only do an explosion one time. Now, if you miss, you could do it again, and I hope that they fix that where you can only do it once. Because I feel like, because the movie is so powerful in the final build, it should only be a one-time use per round or per fight. So if I pull out the explosion and I miss, then that's it. Like I can't try it again. I already tried to activate my bomb and failed. Whereas same thing with Beerus. It's like if he tries to do it once and fails, that's it. He can't try it again. However, if you do happen to pull it off, you get really good with it. It's like, all right, you know what? I deserved it. I deserved that Hakai. I deserved that explosion. You know what? Have it. Let me just sit here and enjoy these visuals right now.
I picture Hakai as like a counter ultimate, such as like what's it called? Reverse Mabusenko.
Yeah.
I picture it as something like that.
I can see it. The only thing that's questionable with it is, again, they're very much all about the manga and the series, and they wouldn't give a move that powerful to Beerus like that without being an instant kill. So like I can't see Hakai being in the game if it doesn't automatically kill your opponent. So I mean, we'll see. Again, I don't really know what they're planning, so it just comes down to how they do it. I feel like with Beerus, we'll probably get something more like the Sphere of Destruction. We'll probably get the finger flip. All the finger flick. We'll have everything he's done in the show so far in the manga is probably what we'll get.
Yeah,
but who knows? Maybe like a 7-bar ultimate. Like if you have full key, you can do it once.
That'd be legendary. If just wasting all that bar, all those bars just for ultimate.
What? Now that I think about it, you know what they could do is, because Beerus is so like lazy, what they could do is they could give him the Hakai, and if he successfully pulls it off, he just like quits. He like goes to sleep or something, and then someone else tags in.
Oh,
because then it's kind of like 1-for-1. Yeah. I can see that.
Okay.
Because like even with 16 right now, like it's kind of, I don't want to call it broken, but it is kind of powerful and free, because what you can do is you can do the explosion, and you can either tag out. Yeah, because you can heal all your health, or better yet, you can go into your burst and then get all that health back immediately, and then just whoop someone's ass. That's what happened to me and Max. Me and Max are fighting, and I was winning. I was controlling the field completely until he pulled off the explosion on me. And it was literally 2v1. He blew up. He killed my one character. So it was 1v1. Granted, he had no health. The second he recovered, he went right into his burst. And then he recovered all that health. It was still a pretty close fight, but he ended up getting me in the end. So, like, it's having that mechanic of being able to just straight up kill your opponent without it killing you is really, really powerful. So, like, I'm pretty sure it's going to change before the game actually comes out.
Yeah. All right, so you want to ask us one, Niggeta? Did Niggeta die? Like, what happened? His mic? All right, I'll ask it. All right, so how do you think the competitive and anime side of the Dragon Ball will communicate with each other? Like, do you think the communities will like clash heads or be good to each other?
So this part is actually terrifying to think about.
There you go. He good.
Oh, okay. I'm just checking.
Yeah. So what happened was the casual and the fighting game side has been clashing since the game was announced.
Yeah.
I feel like the Dragon Ball side doesn't want, to give up their game. And the fighting game side, they want to claim this game as theirs, but like they don't really like the casual. So I feel like people are just busting each other's heads for no reason. Like, end of the day, we just like having a fun ass game to play, and that's what FighterZ is. And it's something we have to like learn to just get along, because at the end of the day, these are all people. Whether you're in the fighting game community or just a Dragon Ball fan, like, these are our people. You're playing the same game, man. Like, stop fighting. Unless it's fighting in the actual game, in which case, by all means, do that. But don't, like, fight each other IRL just because, like, you guys claim, certain sides, whether it be FGC or the casual / anime / Dragon Ball / whatever. Shut the fuck up, play the game. That's the message I have. Just sit down and play the game. It's a fun game.
Oh, man. Yeah, we're all gamers. We all. Yep.
You need to put that on a shirt, Ryan. You need to put that on a
hashtag
shirt.
shut the fuck up, play the game, man.
Yeah.
So like an Uncle Sam Goku.
That'd be fire. That'd be funny. All right.
But I think I agree with you, like, just with the community meshing, because there are a lot of fighting games where communities have to mesh. Like, for Injustice, for example, that's meshing the comic and DC side of things with the competitive scenes. Like, you just need to learn how to mesh it together. And, and just as a casual, just don't try and hop in competitive.
Yeah. The other thing to think about is, like, I feel like a lot of the more casual fans on the Dragon Ball side are upset because this is like being the game instead of, like, Xenoverse 3. You should be happy, man. If you've been playing Xenoverse 1 and 2 the past 2 years, which I know you have, you'll understand that there's a lot of issues with the game. It's a fun game, and Xenoverse 1 to 2 were great improvements, but the game is still, like, super flawed. Let devs work on Xenoverse 3 for the next 2 years, okay? This game being out and being like the in-between game between now and then is only good. Because at the end of the day, Xenoverse 3 is going to be fire, because that game is not coming out until like 2019, 2020, who knows when. It feels like it's a long time away, but like with them already having a blueprint basically down in the game and having basically just 3 years or 2 years or whatever to, like, get the game right. This is going to be like when Tenkaichi 3 came out, or Tenkaichi 2, or even like Budokai 3. Like, it's going to greatly improve. So, like, those games are not going to get knocked out. Just because we have a 2D fighter this year, or I guess next year, does not mean we'll never see 3D fighters again. And I saw that as a fear with a lot of people. Like, those games are still going to come out. We're still going to get your 3D fighters because they sold a shit ton. Mm-hmm. In fact, I think Xenoverse 1 and 2, the Xenoverse series, is the best-selling Dragon Ball series of all time. Whoa. Even above Budokai 3 and Tenkaichi 3. Granted, that was 3 million copies on just one console. If you combine all the sales for Xenoverse 1 and Xenoverse 2, each respective game, it did surpass those games as far as sales. It's kind of cheating because there's multiple platforms, but still, like, a sale is a sale.
Yeah,
and plus the release selling on the Switch.
Yeah, with it selling, you're going to get a sequel again, because it would be stupid for them not to do it.
Yeah, for sure.
So just play Xenoverse 2 or 1, I don't know, pick up fighters, do something else in between while they work on 3, but it's going to come out eventually. You're going to get another fighter, like a 3D style fighter, at some point in the future as well. Like, once Xenoverse, the Xenoverse series is dead. Like, again, just understand that fighters does not mean you'll never see a 3D game again. And besides, we had so many 3D games in the past, like, decade. Like, it's time to get something different. Like,
yeah,
change is good.
Yeah. And plus, even if fighters doesn't look like your forte, you don't have to pick it up.
Exactly.
Pretty sure they're Dempsey's gonna work on this universe.
Yeah, a lot of times people feel like they're forced, like, oh, I have to play this game. It's like, dude, no one's forcing you.
Yeah, you don't gotta pick it up if you want it.
Yeah, you don't have to. I mean, you're missing out, but I guarantee you, if you do pick it up, give it a chance, you're gonna have fun with it. You're gonna enjoy it. It's different. It's way different, especially if you never play fighting games. And if you don't like fighting games, I still guarantee you, if you actually give it a chance and play it, you're gonna enjoy it. That's why, like, I can't wait for the beta to come out just so I can see those same people who didn't like it, who were just basically saying that it's not their kind of game, to see their opinions change. Because, like, it is a fun ass game, whether you're a fan of fighting games or not. It's a fun ass game.
Yep.
And it does look enjoyable.
Yeah.
I just want to get my hands on it. Need a beta code, Bandai, please. Could you bless us with some beta code?
Yeah. And another thing for you guys watching, just because you don't get into closed beta, there's going to be an open beta in the future.
Yep.
Like
in January.
They do those. Yep, they do those. So
In fact, you should be more happy and look forward to that, because I guarantee you, the closed beta is going to be a disaster. I mean, if you haven't learned by now, betas are meant to break.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be 4 sessions. I guarantee the first 2 sessions will barely work. First session won't work at all. Second session will somewhat work, and then the third and fourth session will probably work. But then, based on where you live, it might be past your time zones. You might have to go to sleep. So when the actual game is somewhat locked out, I feel like the second beta, the open one, is more of a test to the community, to those who aren't really quite sure if they want to play the game yet. So by the time that comes out, it'll be more closer to the final product than what this is. This is about to be busted and broken and, all over the place, whereas the open beta in January will be a better, test and look at what to expect when the game actually comes out. And there'll be more characters, probably.
Yeah.
Oh, also, by the way,
okay,
this sounds stupid, but the game has more than 13 characters. I can't tell you how many times I've seen my comments of people saying, "Oh, no, about this game because it only has 8 characters." I'm like, dude, it's literally a 20% build. I don't know where people are getting these ideas. I'm serious.
Comments like
I don't know where people get these ideas that this game has like 8 or 13 characters. Those are early builds, man. They're demos, essentially.
For real, man.
That is actually
that was hilarious.
I thought it was just a meme at first or something, but I saw that very frequently. I'm like, dude, it's an early build.
That's ridiculous, man.
Yeah.
What? This game only has 3 characters? Are you serious?
That's ridiculous.
I saw that way too many times. I have to, say something about it.
Man, those people haven't done their research or anything. Like,
they just saw new Dragon Ball game.
I bet you those are the kind of people that are like, oh, I don't want to spoil myself, and then they'll watch one video and just be like, oh, there's only 3 characters in the game. Okay, not getting this.
Honestly, I don't even know what to call it at that point. It's just I've seen it just way too many times.
Yeah,
that is actually wild.
That's crazy. All right. Get yourself together, man.
Rhymestyle.
Get yourself together, man. That was really funny. Funny.
Okay, but once again, Rhymestyle, thanks for being on the podcast.
Sure, it was dope.
Yeah, man.
Thank you for having me.
Just wondering just about fighters and stuff. He was like, well, Rhymestyle has played fighters, and pretty sure he would 100% be willing to explain to the rest of the community how his experience on fighters, just because you've been uploading a lot of videos on fighters, but I haven't seen a video where you really got into depth or things that you want to see within the game and stuff like that. So once again, just thank you for coming.
I mean, when it comes down to it, I just play these games. If you want to get more to analytical and breakdowns, Max is that dude. I remember this man walked in at when we were at Bandai last time, and he just went to the lab, and when he actually tested his character, like when he used freaking Piccolo, he had we call this the Max combo now. He figured out this crazy 60-hit combo with Piccolo, and it's just it's amazing. And seeing people like him really dig into the game, it's if you want the more bigger breakdowns, check his shit out, please. Do yourself a favor. If you want to learn, go to his channel. I'm just here, just more hey, I played the game. This is what I think. I'm just having fun.
Dragon Ball side of the community.
The Dragon Ball side of the community, exactly. But again, that don't mean that I won't give you these hands. So if you're out there,
do not sleep on Rhyme. Do not sleep on Rhyme.
Yeah, man.
Xenoversus was a whole different thing. Rhyme knows what he's doing in Fighter. I feel like Rhyme's gonna be one of those dudes who's just top ranked for the whole week of Fighters coming out. Then all the FGC.
Just know, if you beat Rhyme, I'm his shooter, so you get taken out. All right. Like, you get taken out, man.
But once again, gotta thank Rhymestyle for coming through. And also, thank everybody who's ever watching this. If you're watching the podcast or whatever, you happen to watch it. Shouts out to you.
Especially if you made it
sandwiches, whatever
this
you
far.
are. Especially if you made it this far. And you know what? If you did enjoy, please go check out everybody in the description. If we're not lazy, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be the lazy one on the end, so I would advise you to go check Tige's description. But it's the Weebinati Podcast. We don't really have an outro.
Yeah, so
you want to do an outro?
Okay. Remember when you mess with the best, you die like the rest. Weebinati Podcast out.
Really, dude? Rhymestyle, you want to do an outro? Rhymestyle, you want to do an outro?
Nah, that was the outro right there.